So I've been making videos the past couple weeks, almost going on a month now, and there was someone that commented on one of my videos. They said that I need help, and at first it kind of took me back a little bit, and it kind of, I wouldn't say triggered me, but it made me feel like a certain kind of like I don't know. I just felt criticized. But either way, I told a friend about it, kind of like, oh yeah, I made this video about this and this person said this. And, they kind of pointed out to me that it's like, we do need help. It's like whenever it's like that saying, ignorance is bliss. Whenever that veil, is lifted, and you see things for what they are and not like what we're told they are, it's a very tough pill to swallow. It's a rude awakening, and it's really hard to keep wrestling around with it or accept it whenever most people around, whether they're on the right side or the left side, they both have their little arguing points, and when you take like a step back and look at things, and none of this stuff makes sense, and while both people are arguing, the right and the left, it's like some may have valid points, but at the end of the day, they're just it's all a political theater. And the discouraging part about it is too, or another thing that makes me think about this morning is just I just learned about the Driscoll strawberries this weekend, and how they're basically have forever chemicals and got all these pesticides, which everything has pesticides on it, but it's like how they may be linked to cancer. And it's like, I know people are going to say, oh, everything's linked to cancer now these days, it's like, maybe there is some things that are probably oversaid. It's kind of like different terms that are just thrown around loosely now. It's like, it's almost kind of like not credible or just minimized, or just like so overplayed you're just tired of hearing about it. But it's like, so where in are these chemicals not bad? Like, why don't you just drink a big old cup of it then? So it's like, so there's companies spraying stuff, big ag spraying on certain plants, probably all of them really. It's like, there's, I've learned about oats, chloramiquat, if I'm pronouncing it right. I can't remember now. I looked it up this morning, but I was like, yeah, I know there's something that they put on the wheat or the grains, not to mention glyphosate, that, if I'm pronouncing that right, but the Roundup shit basically. But anyways, it's like, so there's just all this stuff, and then you got was it RFK that was supposed to come in there and make America healthy again? It's like, whatever happened to that? So I guess what I'm saying is like, when all these people are saying, hey, we're gonna do this and make things good, it's like, we live in the richest, they say the richest, even though we're in the most debt, more than any country, $40 trillion in debt. But it's like, apparently we live in the richest country, at least that's what we're told, right? So take that for what it is. And we're the most obese country, probably the most sick. I mean, it's like, you got people stressed out and going to work. Not saying that, that going to work's a bad thing. I'm not trying to just sit around. The point is like, eating all this crap, that's basically just put on the shelves. Like, this is what you get, like with, not everybody can grow their own food. Shit, they don't even have, like, some places you can't even collect rainwater. You have there's probably certain neighborhoods like HOAs or something that, and all this stuff. It's like regulations after regulations, but yet there's no regulations on what kind of chemicals they put on your food. But yet you can't grow your own food. And then, in healthcare, the, insurance company, have you ever gotten a car wreck and had to deal with insurance companies? Oh man, it's a freaking headache. It's a scam. They don't have any, they don't produce anything, so how do they get money? They collect money from the premiums. Okay, well, when they got all this big old pile of money and they don't want to pay out, because they want to keep that money, that's an incentive for them to not pay out, is to keep the money that they didn't even do anything for. And so you got, there's health insurance, the medical industry, pharmaceutical, it's like healthcare is like, I wouldn't say booming, but it's a business too. Look at these hospitals. All the medical equipment and stuff like that. It's an industry in itself. But anyways, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is, yeah, it is hard to stay focused and positive whenever it's like everywhere you turn, there's like, don't get me wrong, there's good stuff. There is good stuff going on. Things to look forward to. The reality of it is, though, is, we're kind of, life is what you make it. I could sit here, I wish I didn't see this stuff. I wish I didn't know it. I wish I didn't have to acknowledge that, we have been lied to all our lives. But that's not the case. But anyways, yeah, so I guess it is finding joy in the little things, and staying focused on what makes either you happy on a small maybe frequent or just like momentarily basis, and just keep chipping away at a goal. That's, I guess, the only thing that you really can do is have a plan and a goal to work towards, and then just try to keep your eyes focused on that. My problem is I can get caught up in details, but I can also see the big picture of things, and and that's kind of what I'm looking at, is like, I need to maybe stay in my own little lane, but whenever you like can see things, on a broader scale and what's going on, it definitely makes it tough. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. There's lots of people. It's kind of like, if you're not crazy, but you get thrown in an insane asylum, with other people that are crazy, you probably start becoming crazy yourself, or you'll eventually go crazy, so it's like, yeah, I may seem crazy, but just going along and like, kind of like, oh, this isn't happening. Like, are you sure? Like, you seem like, off. You seem crazy. You seem a little out there or extreme, It's like, no, this is crazy. And then, and I'll say this, and just to kind of conclude the video, I was talking about some stuff over this Memorial Day weekend with my family, and I love my meemaw. Let me say that first. By no means am I like, saying, oh, my meemaw this, my meemaw that, whatever. My mom's 92 years old or 93 years old. She grew up at a different time. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have all this stuff going on. or at least that we knew of, right? Because it wasn't just, didn't catch people slipping so much. But anyways, so, she was like, why do you like it here? Why do you criticize the government so much? And it was like, I mean, to me, the first thought that went to my head was, man, if the people that they claim, that happened during the revolutionary time, right? The story, what we're told of how we didn't want to be taxation without representation, and religious freedoms and all this stuff, right? It's like, man, let's just go with that story. If those people thought like that, like, why do you question? Why don't you just do what you're told, kind of deal, that kind of mentality? I was like, we'd be eating fish and chips right now. Nothing wrong with the fish and chips. Good little fish and chips meal is kind of tasty. But the point is we wouldn't be here. We'd be having tea and crumpets, and but so I mean, it's just that. It's like, and people are, and now I'm gonna go off on a tangent. It's like, and people are all about 2A, and First Amendment, and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, if you don't, what's the point of that stuff if you don't even question to begin with? You sit here and talk about it all day long, but if you're either ignorant to it or you don't want to face the reality of things, like, you got to even get past that step first, it's a civic duty to question. Like, we just do what you're told. 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 Don't answer. Don't ask questions or anything like that. Just, don't even think about it. Just do what you're told. Man, I don't know. I can't live like that. I mean, maybe some people can. I'm sure there's people that can't. I'm one that can't. So, anyways, this video is longer than I expected it to be. But anyways, I hope y'all have a good day. Just try to stay focused on a small goal, a daily goal, maybe a weekly goal. And definitely, also, I mean, that's not to say to put the blinders on, but, keep staying aware. For me, that's kind of the easy part. It's like, once you see stuff and like you're open to learning new things. I'm curious by nature, so I'm always looking around, trying to learn something, metaphorically, looking around, so, but stay focused, have a goal, and try to stay present, even in conversations. Really listen to people. Try to stay in the moment in these trying times, because that's all we really can do. And I mean, going back to the strawberries and the oatmeal and stuff like that, you think you're eating a healthy meal, and yet you're eating poison, and this is what the government's allowing to be served up. So the point is, no one's coming to save you. That's the reality of it. They're not just gonna wake up and, oh man, we're really sorry about all this. Well, there's so much money behind it. People's pockets are being lined. It ain't changing anytime soon. Plus, it's so big that, any kind of big operations takes time to change. So even if they wanted to, it could take years, which, I haven't seen any court cases or any conclusions of certain situations that would point to any real change. And if y'all have, please let me know. Please let me know. I could be wrong. I haven't seen any of that really gives real hope back to, I mean, and again, is it hope? Is it faith? I mean, like, people want real change, not a freaking empty promise. But anyways, I hope you'll have a good day. As you can see, it's sunny here. It was a little dewy this morning. It's probably going to rain again today at some point. But anyways, y'all have a good day. Godspeed.